Hello and welcome to another episode of Fluffhammer. Today this will be part 1 of the how to paint Tau Riptide, and here we'll get into it. So here we have the Riptide. I've basically built the model. I should have painted this in sub-assemblies, now coming back to it, but it's just easier to paint the whole thing now it's all assembled. So basically we've started off with Halford's grey primer, and I've primed the whole model, and then from above I've just used Halford's white primer. So as you can see, it doesn't translate great on the video, but there's a gradient from grey underneath to white at top. Just gives a nice kind of a pre-shade to all the white armour. The first major stage is going in with a Baden black, and I'm diluting this, and this will basically be for all the kind of ball joints, all the vents, and all the you know, kind of under armour suit bits really, as you can see there, pointing to the vents and around these ball joints. So yeah, basically just going to get on with that and get through some Chaos Blacking, or a Baden Black as it's called now, and then I'll catch up with you for the next bit. Okay, so there we go. I've had to do two coats of a Baden Black to get a solid coat on this, as it's kind of directly over white. The grey areas help it goes over the grey a little bit easier. But yeah, so this is 2 layers of a Baden Black. Picked out a few bits extra, but yeah, now we're going to go on to adding some grey panels. Mechanicus standard grey, also from Games Workshop. As you can see, I'm just pointing to kind of random armour panels, bits on the weapon, that I'm going to be adding the Mechanicus standard grey to. Again, this is going to need 2 coats, 2 thin down coats. So here we have it. Those bits are all done as well now. You've got a bit of freedom here. You can kind of pick and choose which bits you want to be black, which bits you want to be grey. I just went with bits that I thought looked good. Next up, I'm going to use some Testors dull coat. You don't have to use Testors, you can use any other matte or satin varnish, but when we do the wash with the Agrax Earthshade into all the recesses, if you've added a layer of varnish first, it helps it to stop staining the paint. So because we want a neat line in the recesses, we don't want the paint to stain the white, especially with the primer being quite a dusty coat. You can tend to get like a smudging on the armor plates. So with this varnish first, it lets the wash run into the recesses without having to kind of stain a lot of the armor panels. So this is probably one of the hardest parts, just being super neat, getting around all these little recesses in the armor with the Agrax. So yeah, I'll get on with that, and then I'll see you guys for the next part. Okay, so here we go. Just a little catch up. Don't forget all these little vents and round all these little holes and everything with the agrax. But basically that's that all done. It doesn't show up great on the camera, but makes a real big difference to add a lot of depth to the model. If you wanted a cleaner look, you could do Null Oil, but I went with agrax to just kind of get more of a weathered effect. Next up, we'll be adding some battle damage with Dryad Bark and just a little everyday household sponge. Basically, it's quite an easy technique. I just dip straight out of the pot. I prefer it to be the paint to be a little bit thicker. You don't want it too thin because then it will just run all in between the foam, and you'll just get splodges rather than actual battle damage. So I'm just dabbing some off on the palette there, just until we get to a kind of consistently similar to dry brushing, as you can see. So you want a little bit to come off, but you don't want big lumps like that on the base. So make sure and test it before you apply it to your model. And then, yeah, really battle damage would be on raised edges or hard edges, as I'm pointing out there. So things that would stick out, things that would, you know, generally get battle worn. It's very rare that you get big scratches down the middle of kind of vertical panels, but the edges of armor plates and stuff tend to chip quite easily. So going more of a kind of realistic theme, kind of battle damage rather than just damaging everything. I'll get on with that and I'll catch you guys in a minute. So there we have it. That is part 1 of the How to Paint Tail Riptide. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share it with your friends. If there's any other videos you guys and girls would like to see from me, please put it in the comments so I know what kind of thing to press on with next time. If you'd like to buy your own Tail Riptide, Element Games do great customer service and a decent percentage off Games Workshop stuff. I've put a link in the description below. So that's about it from me. Next time we'll be working on kind of details and airbrushing special effects. See you next time. Bye bye.